had you.
You almost had me? You never had me! You never had your cart! Granny drifting, not getting mini turbos like you should?
Oh, I thought we were just playing Mario Kart. Just having a good time.
You're lucky that final mushroom boost didn't blow the welds on the intake. Now me and Dr. Kamek gotta tear everything apart and make sure it still works.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Maybe we should slow it down and play some Super Nintendo games.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Welcome back to Cartridge Royale, the show where we play retro games and see if they still hold up. Today is the fastest episode we've ever done.
Probably not, but
it's still going to be
it's
long
going to be
as hell.
fast. It's going to be fast.
But today we're looking at all SNES racing games, starting with the one that started it all.
And it's not who you think it is.
First title is going to be F-Zero.
I meant that everybody thinks of Mario Kart when they think of Nintendo racing games. That's where I was going with that,
true.
You won't believe the power. You won't believe the control. You won't believe the jumps, the curves, or the feeling you get until you experience it for yourself.
Wow, that's fast.
F-Zero is the original racing game on the Super Nintendo, launched in 1990 as a release title for the Super Famicom and then came to North America the following year. This was a big deal for the racing game community. A lot of launch titles try to be like technically impressive, graphically impressive because they're designed to sell consoles, and F-Zero did a very good job of that.
I feel like F-Zero kind of still looks pretty good today, too. I've seen like videos and stuff on YouTube, and I feel like, man, for a 16-bit game, that still looks pretty darn good today.
Yeah, it really does. So this leverages a piece of the console called Mode 7. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
More like Goat Heaven.
What?
It's a JonTron reference.
Oh.
Mode 7? More like Goat Heaven.
Mode 7 is basically how they were able to achieve the 3D rendering. So it basically they have like the whole map there, and then the cart stays in place while the whole map rotates around you, and it just kind of gives you the illusion that you're moving.
Interesting.
But because it was so graphically intensive, they couldn't render the wheels, because it originally wasn't supposed to be hover cars.
Interesting.
But to be able to do all of the other stuff that they wanted to do with it, to give it that sense of speed and to make it run as well as it did, they couldn't render wheels, and so they opted for hover cars in a more futuristic setting.
Which absolutely works. I feel like if it had wheels, it would just be really off-putting on the cars.
Yeah, and well, there are just so many like weird pragmatic decisions like that around F-Zero. So, for example, Captain Falcon, who is kind of the face of the franchise, was not even originally attached to F-Zero at all. Because they basically had finished developing the game before they came up with any of the backstory for any of it. And so they were making all of these, this 9-person team, believe it or not. They developed it in like 15 months.
Crazy.
A 9-person team. They basically had finished the game, and they're like, okay, now how do we like make this cool? Because they developed racing games, and those were good in Japan, but they didn't feel like it was cool enough for an American audience. So F-Zero like aesthetic was all just like designed to be cool to Americans.
I mean, it is pretty darn cool.
It totally
like,
is.
Our first exposure to these kinds of games was F-Zero X on the N64. This, we didn't have this game too much growing up, so...
I've never played it.
I've only ever played it once, and it was in a hotel room that I accidentally rented it from by just pushing random buttons.
Kevin! You spent $967 on road service!
You spent $12 on F-Zero for the SNES? Oh, I got off track. So I was talking about how the lore came very late in development. So like Captain Falcon was not even originally supposed to be a part of F-Zero, because if you'll notice, all of his colors correspond to the colors of the Super Famicom.
Oh,
so he was going to be the
idea.
mascot for like the console as a whole.
No Mario.
Well, Mario still existed.
I know, but like he wasn't going to be the guy.
No, they were going to sell consoles
with Captain
Falcon, which would have been a very different and interesting
I think it still would have worked because Captain Falcon is cool as hell.
Show me your moves.
But if that was the idea, how come we haven't gotten another F-Zero game, Nintendo? It's 2025.
What's interesting about that, and we might talk about this later, is that F-Zero has had a lot of false starts and flops in its history.
Okay,
like it just
I'm
hasn't,
interested to hear more about
hasn't caught
that.
on quite as well as it should have because the games are excellent consistently.
Yes.
And I talked about how they had to make all these pragmatic decisions, like not rendering wheels, making them hover cars, to like make this thing work, because this game on Super Nintendo runs at 60 frames.
And that's a decision that they made for the N64 as well, consciously.
And for the GameCube. All
Freaking
of
60
the
frame
mainline-
heaven, guys.
All the mainline F-Zero games have run at 60 frames, starting with
Crazy.
the OG.
Alrighty.
So I'm excited to check this one out today because, like I said, I've never played it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
All
see
right.
how it holds up.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and fast. Shit! Oh no, that was the last turn before I got some energy.
I don't like these 5 laps. I really don't.
Okay, game number 2.
Whoop.
And he drops it like he does everything else.
The second game we're going to be looking at today should come as absolutely no surprise. It's Super Mario Kart. You know it, you love it. It's the original kart game.
Mushrooms, banana peels, turtle shells. Dynamite. Check your rear view and make him eat dust. Or go into battle mode and ruin his day. 2 speeds. Fast and way too fast.
I feel like this one is going to age the worst out of all 3 that we're trying out today.
You know, it's so funny because people to this day still consider this one of the best racing games ever made, which is funny because it has a lot of limitations on it.
Yeah.
But it actually borrows a lot of stuff from F-Zero. So this came out in '92, just like a year and a half later after F-Zero. And it was kind of a similar thing where they built the game and then attached the IP to it later.
Yeah, I did know that part of it. I watched a video on it, I can't remember the video I watched, but they went extensively into the history and basically said that it was kind of like a throw stuff at the wall and see what stuck, and they were like, all right, Mario characters work.
Yeah. So it's kind of a funny, like, pragmatic thing. I guess it's just how the Japanese developers operate. And they say, like, we'll make a cool, fun game first, and then figure out how to market it
And
later.
make it have a personality later,
Yeah.
Let's go racing. It's Super Mario Kart Funny Car Madness.
So this game went on to be the 4th highest selling game for the SNES.
Man, I wonder what was ahead of it.
Well, let's try and guess here. So Super Mario World,
Yeah, obviously.
because I think that one sold like 14 million, what we said last
I'm going to
last
say
episode.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
And, oh man, what's the third one?
It's got to be Donkey Kong, right?
Donkey Kong Country?
Yeah.
The original?
The original
That
Donkey
makes
Kong.
sense to me. Okay, yeah. Okay.
We'll check in post here, but those are our guesses. I'm pretty confident in those.
Yeah, I am too. Especially Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And Mario World is the obvious one. So, yeah.
Yep. Something that is a big improvement on this over F-Zero is the 2-player mode. F-Zero is a single-player game only.
Interesting.
So adding the 2-player mode for this was kind of a big deal because it set the grounds for it to become the big party game that it became.
I don't know if a lot of you play Mario Kart online now, but it feels very, very sweaty when you play Mario
Does it
Kart
really?
online. I've never had a good time whenever I've tried to play Mario Kart online. Even on the DS, people were crazy. Like on the Mario Kart DS game. And I couldn't play it online because people would like glitch things out, get like stupid shortcuts and things like that. And so this, being only a 2-player game that you play with another friend, is awesome. And also with the N64 not having online capability either, it feels more like a party game and less like a sweat fest.
Yeah. Like, who's out there flexing their Mario Kart skills? Like,
Streaming ruined casual gaming, guys.
hey, baby, did you know that I'm the 4th top-ranked player in Mario Kart 8?
I use Funky Kong and the Flame Runner.
Like, who cares?
Anyway.
Like, games, you play games, because they're fun.
Because it's fun. We're having fun.
Anyway, back to Super Mario Kart. I mean, is there really much else to say about it other than it's like the king of party games and it spawned a whole crazy franchise that makes millions of dollars every year? And
true.
This is the one that started it all.
This is where it started. I have a hot take on this.
Okay.
And I think we'll get to it later.
Okay.
But I feel like Mario Kart has kind of either, shall we say, cannibalized or absorbed F-Zero. Because a lot of the track designs in the newer Mario Karts have gotten crazy and out there. You do have hovercraft and all that stuff in the Mario Kart games.
Just give us an F-Zero game, Nintendo.
We still want an F-Zero game.
I'll buy it.
Desperately need an F-Zero game.
I'll buy it for $80-$90. I don't care.
Oh, don't say that. Don't encourage them.
Sorry.
Anyway, let's go play Mario Kart.
Alright. I guess I'll try.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, you can't see anything. This was like white pillars against a white background.
I need to get like sunglasses out.
No, get it away.
Does it not help at all?
No.
No, wait, it does. I think these legitimately help with this. I'm not even kidding.
All right. This is the one that I'm most excited to revisit.
Yeah, our third and final game,
And
the
this
Dark
one-
Horse.
Yeah, the Dark Horse, but unlike our other episodes, this one doesn't suck.
Take a drink every time the game sucks.
It's true.
Yeah, so,
We have 3 good titles today.
Yeah, we have 3 good titles. We don't have a black sheep. and this one kind of might be considered a black sheep because...
It's very much a cousin game.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, just go look that thing up on TikTok. I'm sure it's
the Polygon video on cousin games.
Yeah, the cousin
it's
games.
Very, very accurate.
Yeah, but it's a game called Uniracers.
It's like single wheel boarding. Down the track, double roll, fly!
How did you find the two-player action?
Man, I was hauling, gaining on the bro, hit the ice, smack, flip city. Ace of dude's time. Glue action, triple flip, bacon in the pan.
Well, it appears then to be totally slamming. Next week, doing triple flips without tossing your crumpets. Good night.
Actually named Unirally in the UK where it was developed. It was developed by a British company, which funnily enough, we've had a British company game on every single one of our episodes because of Rareware.
Rare. But this is not Rare.
No, this
Who
is
developed
not
this?
Rareware. I gotta check. I think it's DMA Design was the name of the studio. So
what else did they
super memorable game company. I actually don't know. It was released in 1994, actually.
Okay, so much later.
Much later. And not much is known about the development and the release of this game, at least that I could find. One of the things that I've gotten here is that the developers practiced riding unicycles throughout their offices to enhance their understanding of the mechanics.
Oh, interesting.
Even though there's nobody on the unicycles when you're playing the game and you're doing like front flips and twists and things. And that's another thing I really like about this game is the trick system. It incentivizes you to do tricks kind of like in the modern Mario Karts to get speed boosts. So I guess you could think this game is an inspiration maybe for giving you speed boosts when you do tricks in Mario Kart.
Maybe.
Because I don't know of another game that does that besides this one.
Not as old as this one.
Yeah,
well,
so...
Another big difference on this from our other 2 games is that these are 3D racing games or like simulated 3D racing games, and this is a 2D racing game.
Yeah, it's just up, down, and left to right. And in my opinion, they utilize their limitations and get their fullest potential, in my opinion. I remember spending hours on this game over here at our cousin's house, funnily enough, because we didn't grow up having this game.
We still clocked a lot of hours.
Oh, I know,
on this game, though.
and I think the music is a really big part of that. It just feels like a punk rock like skating game to me.
We get to hear the celebration song.
And I think that's what adds to its charm.
This was Tony Hawk before Tony Hawk.
It really was, and it's sad that it's not talked about enough. The reason it only sold 300,000 units initially, when they initially released it, is because Pixar and Disney are evil people.
You heard it here first.
We don't like
We're the only people to say that.
Yeah, but anyway, we're unique. They were sued by Pixar because apparently they copied the unicycle from a short film, Red's Dream. And I guess it looks very, very similar.
How radical can you get with a unicycle design?
That's kind of like
it's
the crux
a wheel,
of
a tube, and a seat.
It's funny you say that because in the crux of this article here, it basically says that the judge was like, yeah, you can't really make a cartoon unicycle that much different from any other cartoon unicycle.
Based judge.
Yeah, so he was like, yeah, there's no problem here. But that's what impacted its sales so much is because they had to stop manufacturing cartridges during the length of the lawsuit.
Oh.
But the game got pretty solid scores across most critics.
Yeah.
It's either middle of the road or up in the higher echelon, like 7 or 8 out of 10. 7 and 8 out of 10 games aren't bad. IGN has just brainwashed you into thinking they're bad.
Well, here's the other thing, too. I feel like game critics used to be much harsher than they are now.
Yeah, it's like game critics don't want to offend developers, so they stop sending them copies of their games.
Yeah, well, because I looked at the critic reviews for F-Zero, and it was saying, like, in the 70s.
Oh, really?
It's all right. It's okay. Like, and maybe that's accurate, but it's, like, probably a little low there.
Yeah.
Compared to the bullshit, 9.5s that they give out now.
Yeah. Critics are too afraid to offend developers, I think. Or not offend them, but like be honest and objective when it comes to games.
But not us, because nobody's paying us yet.
But you should. Call us. But anyway, yeah, love this game, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think this is going to be the best of the 3.
Oh, Luke with the prognostications. Well, let's go check out Uniracers.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm having more fun watching you do this one than I do the other ones, I'm going to be honest. Nice. That was so well done.
This felt like a much shorter day, because it was.
That's because we were going fast.
Aha!
We were racing to the finish.
Yeah.
This day, these never go the way that I expect them to go.
No, they don't.
They really don't. And I feel like we've done some games that are very well-trod territory, and it's always kind of surprising.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like this today was a big surprise because I think that the dark horse is going to be my early prediction for the winner here.
Yeah, like it made a very strong showing. But let's just start at the beginning. So we kicked off the day with F-Zero. Oh, dude, I've never noticed this in the gameplay videos that I've watched. You can see the pilot.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. He like Nintendo steers.
Yeah. There's 3 Clearo, F-Biro. It's another JonTron reference.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like a JonTron thing. So F-Zero as a franchise is something that you and I both adore. We played a lot of the N64 one.
A fair bit of the
GameCube one, and we just love everything about it.
The aesthetic, the art style, the music.
The fact that they prioritized performance over graphics was huge. They always say that constraint breeds creativity, and I think that is exactly what happened with the F-Zero series.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They did more with less.
It was designed to be fun first, and then they designed the aesthetics around that, which is such an interesting thing. Because normally when you like come up with an idea for something, you can kind of see how it looks in your mind. But for Nintendo, it's like, oh, we want to make a racing game, and we need it to be cool for Americans. What Americans like? I don't know, fast hover cars. Like,
yeah.
Put some jet engines on the back of those bastards and let them go.
Heck yeah, dude.
Man, I'm just destroying these kids.
Well, you are a beginner.
Hey, Drew? Stop diminishing my accomplishments.
So, unfortunately, though, I have to say that I was not as enthralled with F-Zero as I anticipated I might be.
No, and I think it goes back to your point where it was more of a showcase of what the Super Nintendo could do, more so than focusing on gameplay. It's like, hey, look at this cool thing that we can make. We're going to make other cool things. So I think that's a big reason why it was more so for, look how cool this looks.
Yeah, it was. I wonder almost, too, if it was showing, like, this is a showcase for consumers to be like, oh wow, this is what the next generation of game console is capable of, but also to show developers like, hey, if you come and make games for our system, this is the kind of stuff you can do with it. Because we ran out of stuff to do really fast, and
yeah, there's not much to it.
Yeah, surprisingly little. Like, because we spent.
What is it? So like 3 cups and then 4 races in each.
Is there 4 or 5
races?
5? I think there's 5 races.
Okay, so if you take 3 times 5, there's only 15 courses in the game.
Well, there's an unlockable special cup that we didn't unlock.
So there's 15. Not 15, 20. Sorry, there's 20.
Right? 4 times 5. Yeah, so there's 20 courses, I think, and only 4 racers, only 4 vehicles.
See, and that's the biggest limiting factor, I think, where you only have 4 racers to choose from. Granted, you're only going to have 2 people. No, you can't have 2 people playing at a time. It's a single player.
Didn't even have
so yeah, you don't even have like a multiplayer to worry about with this. And so, I don't know. For me, I got bored pretty quickly of F-Zero. I was like, is it time to be done yet? It wasn't that I was frustrated or anything like that. It was just like, there isn't much to this, and I just want to play the next thing. Oh, that was a good turn. Oh! Weaving in and out.
Wow. That'll go in the highlight reel. I feel like we definitely got to that point where we understood what it was doing and finally started to kind of get a handle on it. And I bet that if we'd had this game as kids, this would have been one that we would have played a lot and like got really good at and spent a lot of time trying to like get, like do like the equivalent of achievement hunting. Like I'm certain that is something that we would have done with this game as kids. But now it's I don't know, it just hasn't held up very well, and there's not much to it.
But to that point a little bit, I don't know how much we would have tried to like really get at it because there is no multiplayer.
That is fair.
Because like we played games together all the time, and so this not having a multiplayer of anything to speak of, I think that would have turned us off from it.
Yes and no, because there were
me and Matt. It would have been.
Well, and you and Matt are a lot closer in age than I. Can you believe there's a third unknown brother?
He's super cool.
But I'm thinking of like other single player games that we'd played. So like Super Mario is technically 2-player, but only one person at a time.
Yeah.
And you would just pass the controller back and forth. Did the same thing for like Toy Story. I don't know if you remember playing that.
I remember playing Toy
Pass
Story.
the controller back and forth. And I think that's the same kind of thing that you could do here. Like, I'll do a Grand Prix, you do a Grand Prix, and because you have, all the time in the world to do that kind of thing. Anyway, my point is, I do think that in its time, this would have been a game that you could really dig into and master it and like unlock the extra special cup and you get high records or low records rather, like
fast times.
Yeah, and do all that kind of stuff with it, but beyond that, there just isn't much to do. And I think back to the N64 version that did have multiplayer.
So much.
There's quite a lot more to that game. You have 30 racers. You have 4.
And they're all super unique too.
So it's 3 cups from the rip. You unlock the 4th one.
And then you get
the
X one.
The X one that does randomly generated courses.
Mm-hmm.
So they're different every single time you do it. So there's a lot of replay value. Plus you have the death race, time trials. Yeah, there's just more to it, and I think that it's more comic booky.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that.
So there's a lot to the manual in there. They fully included an F-Zero comic book with the SNES one, but it just didn't happen much in the game.
I hate this course. I hate it. I'm kind of over this game. Throw the cart rage meter up.
Yeah, cart rage is increasing. And this was something I was gonna say, is that F-Zero is full of like false starts and failed experiments. They've tried multiple times to get this franchise to be more than what it is. So outside of like let's call the 3 console games like the mainline series, right? So you have F-Zero, F-Zero X, F-Zero GX, and if you consider those like the main games, They've done dozens of other things with this franchise. And none of them have really done that.
It's because it functions better as a video game than it does anything else. At its core, it's just about racing.
True.
And like high speed racing.
It's
60 frames a second racing.
Right.
Like,
it's 60 FPS. It's high speed. It's extremely difficult. This might be the Dark Souls of racing games. You know?
To put the "you died" thing on me right now.
You're slow. So, like, case in point, like the story mode in the F-Zero GX is incredibly
It's awesome.
difficult.
It's hard, but it's
incredibly
awesome.
difficult, but it's great. And the thing that Nintendo keeps repeating over the years is that the reason why they haven't done a new entry in this franchise is because they can't think of anything to do with it. And it's like online multiplayer.
Yeah.
Which I guess they have done. We after we finished up our time with this, I wanted to try out the
F-Zero
99, which is basically a battle royale online multiplayer version of this game, and it plays much nicer.
But it doesn't scratch the same itch still. Like it's still, I don't know. I really didn't really care for this game that much, if I'm being totally honest. Like, I can appreciate what it started with the later two games because I love those two games. But if you asked me if I were to go back and play it again, like after today, I'd say no.
I might go and play F-Zero 99 a little bit, just for fun.
It just doesn't scratch the same itch for me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel as fast as the other two games.
Definitely not. Like, even though it did have that sense of speed for the time, it doesn't anymore.
No, and this game felt slower than this one.
True.
By a large margin.
True.
And obviously this one felt really, really slow because it's go-karts, but like this one was all about high speeds, but it didn't feel as high speed as this one. And I think that's just a glaring, like, it's just showing its age, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like everything else about that game, I just don't really have that much else to say about it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's very little to it. And I feel like that's kind of what happens anytime you try and talk about this game, is that you end up talking about the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because when JonTron did his top 20 SNES games, he's like, I can't think of anything to write about F-Zero. It's great. You should love it. You should love it too. You know, that's all he really thought of when he was doing it. So we're not alone.
Okay, I can't think of anything to write about F-Zero, but I love it, and so do you. And it deserves the number 14 spot. We cool? We cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty fair sentiment, and we experienced it firsthand.
Yep.
Okay, so before we move on, though, are there any other ideas that you would put into a new F-Zero game?
Well, I mean, there's this game that I'm super excited for, and I keep waiting for the guy to put it out fully. It's Aero GPX, and he's added like these, like if you go up in the air, you can do like tricks in the air to like get more speed. And I know that's been done to death in like Mario Kart and stuff if you do tricks and stuff, but this dude has you like freaking corkscrewing through the air, and like you can like do all these crazy things, it seems like, at these high speeds. I mean, there's so much potential, it seems like, and Nintendo just refuses to give it to us. And I don't even care if they, like, I would love to see them remaster F-Zero X or F-Zero GX. If that's what they gave us, I'd be into that too.
A remaster?
You don't even need to remake a new game. Do a remaster of those games. That'd be awesome.
That would be sick. I would adore that.
And I think it speaks a little bit of volumes that one of the first 3 games that they're developing for the GameCube portion of the online, for Switch Online for the Switch 2, one of the first 3 games is F-Zero GX.
All right.
Son of a bitch!
They know the interest is there.
I think they do. And so like if I was going to go into Nintendo's boardroom and say, okay, here's my pitch for an F-Zero game, I'm not sure what the thing is that I would tell them is like, this is going to be the big selling point, the big gimmick that you can do with this, outside of just like better versions of things that they've already done in the series. Because we have seen like track makers. Like, I mean, the Super Mario Maker version of an F-Zero title would actually go super
really
hard.
Go hard.
Like custom machines, like that's been done, but like
it could be fleshed out even more.
It could be fleshed out better, like online multiplayer. Like you've got it in F-Zero 99, but like do that, but with
F-Zero
modern graphics.
X or GX.
Yeah. Do it with like a new entry in the series, like do all of the things, like bring it all together into one package where you have online multiplayer, track builder, ship builders, time trials.
Maybe you could even customize your racer.
Yeah, like make F-Zero like
a Souls game where you customize and create a character.
Yeah, kind of make it more of like an RPG sort of a thing.
Yeah, and then one other thing that they could add is adding like the parts mechanic from the Star Wars Episode 1 racer game.
Now this is pod racing.
Oh, there you go.
Because that's the thing, because you can like upgrade parts in your machines in that game, and that works great. It gives you a reason to keep playing and unlocking things other than just like unlocking characters and tracks and
yeah, like it would be fun. Like you could create it like an avatar, like a racer, and then as you compete in different races, you would unlock more parts for your ship to make it better. And different parts would obviously have different effects on how it handles and how you speed.
And it would have to have pros and cons for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
There shouldn't have to be like the best part for everything. You're gonna have to mix and match and find out how you like to play.
Yeah, that was something that I really liked about the N64 is that there was 30 different vehicles in there.
And they were all different.
They all managed to be different because they all had pros and cons. And that was somewhere where this game fell really short. We tried the two different... Did we try 3? Or just the 2?
We tried Pico, we tried Captain Falcon, and we tried Samurai Guru.
We did try 3 of them, and they all felt pretty much the same. I couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah, and the other thing...
I'm an uncultured swine. I couldn't tell a difference.
Well, and the other thing that they let you customize is if you wanted more acceleration or max speed in the N64 game.
True.
That was that's a mechanic that you don't really see that often anymore. And depending on which track you're racing, maybe you want more acceleration, maybe you want more max speed. It just depends.
Yeah. Well, and for our hypothetical F-Zero game, like I wonder if like based on your parts, you would have a range instead of it being like I will do all the like depending on which parts you have will determine like the range of
your capability
freedom that you get within there. Maybe even put a third axis on it and have like you can
make yourself floaty or heavy.
Yeah,
maybe,
or not floaty or heavy, but like maybe you sacrifice your max speed for boost or something. So boost would be like a third axis in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Take these ideas, Nintendo.
For the love
please.
of God,
give us another F-Zero game.
We just really want a new F-Zero game, for God's sake.
We're not asking a lot. I don't feel like.
Feel like the Hurley boy. For the love of God, give him a new F-Zero game!
Yeah, that's the SNL thing with Chris
Adam
Farley.
Sandler.
Hi, Nintendo. Let me play your game. Let me fly a hovercraft ship at high speed. I'll take care of it the best for you. I won't wreck it, I promise. I'll make sure I have insurance. Just let me play a new F-Zero game, please.
Can't you see this man is suffering?
I'll pay $90 for it.
No, you won't.
It's funny, like, the songs that I recognize in this are awesome, and the ones that I don't are
not good.
Are kind of blah.
It's like they took the best ones and ditched the bad ones.
Well, and that's the funny thing that...
Oh wow, you just really... Oh, hey, that one actually kind of helped you.
All right, let's slow
come
things down a little bit, and let's talk about Super Mario Kart.
Yeah,
outside. Yeah. High five.
No sweat.
They were way better at this game than we were F-Zero.
I liked it slightly better than F-Zero, but not much.
Yeah, I was not anticipating it to be as rough as it was.
It did not age gracefully.
No.
People talk about, Ocarina of Time and all these other games not aging great. This is one is up there.
Yeah. The series has evolved well beyond its roots. Well, and what's funny is you can see the direct line from F-Zero to Mario Kart.
Yep.
Like
they pretty much developed it the same way, did they not? That they had the concept already there, and then they brought in the Mario skin.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Mode 7 thing. It's like we're gonna, have these layers on a 3D plane. Your kart's gonna just stay in the middle, and we'll rotate the environment around that. That's just how that all worked. But in this, they were able to do multiplayer and
battle mode.
Have battle mode. They had more racers on the track. F-Zero just has random nonsense on the track.
That was another thing that pissed me off about that game.
Not real cool. Like, if there's only four people competing, then just let there only be 4. Like, that's my 2 cents. But
maybe.
Anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't think it was gonna be like an additive boost. Holy shit! Holy crap! We can do it again! There we go. Oh, that was actually super good.
But I guess the big bonus over F-Zero that Mario Kart has is that it does have like the party element, and I think that is like the through line from the very beginning. Is that this is the fun one, right?
This is the casual, invite your buddies over to play type thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you had multiplayer in this, the battle mode, the items. There's pretty serious rubber banding, which I don't think I felt like there was rubber banding in F-Zero.
When you ran into cars, it felt like you did that a lot. I don't know.
Well, the rubber banding is as far as like
racers catching you if you got out way out in front of them. I don't know. We never got far enough in front of these CPUs to actually feel that.
That's true. We were playing on just the beginner difficulty, and it was still pretty tough. Like, it does have that reputation of being a difficult game to beat. And Mario Kart was actually really tough. And I don't know if I feel like I was having to...
It's because it didn't have all the mechanics that we were used to. So, one thing that kept happening for both of us is when we tried to drift around a corner, we would rock the D-pad back and forth because that's how you were supposed to get sharper angles on things.
Well, it's how you could kind of finesse your drift a little bit. This is like once you were in a drift, you were
committed.
You were locked into the trajectory that you had chosen.
Yeah, you were committed to it. And it was so squirrely, and
you can't reverse.
No, there's no reverse button.
I could figure out.
There's no reverse button in this game.
No.
Go-kart, no need to go backwards.
You gotta have your mom come out and push it backwards for you.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a reverse gear.
Yeah, it's super weird.
I mean, I guess if you're playing the game correctly, you shouldn't need one. But I feel like in the battle mode, a reverse gear is damn near necessary, and that opens up a lot of different things that you can do in that mode.
One thing that this game has on either of the other games is that the racers all feel pretty different. But there's 4 classes, so you have 2 in each class.
Yeah.
So you have 8 racers, but if you choose one from each different one, they all feel different.
Yes.
So that was one thing about this one that was better than the other 2.
Yeah, the different drivers, the different characters feel very, very distinct.
Vastly different.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bowser is kind of boosted. But he was my guy in the N64 one.
Well, that's because he's decent in the N64 one. This one, he's kind of ass. All right.
Bowser sucks in this game, and that makes me so sad because he's my guy in N64 Mario Kart, and he's probably the best character in it. In my opinion, I can justify my reasons why, but if you want to argue with me, go to the comments. I'll argue with you.
Yeah, he'll do it all day long if he has to.
Yeah.
Here, let's No, let me give it one more chance.
No, we're not doing that.
I will say that though Bowser is not a great racer, his jingle for when he wins is fantastic. The orchestra hit sample is fucking great.
Yeah.
And then Bowser has the best
he does.
end of race theme. The orchestra hit thing.
And like the Bowser's Castle music, I
Really good.
loved it.
Really
I
good.
would I once upon a time I started a cover. I was developing a cover. I wanted to like cover that song and I just never ended up getting back to it. I worked on it for like a week and then gave
Kind of
up.
fell off of it.
Yeah. Had other things to do. Maybe
That's
one
kinda
day
how I
I'll
feel
do
about this
that.
video game. Play it for a day and I'll fall off of it.
Yeah, pretty much. But I wanted to talk about the music a little bit more broadly. We didn't mention it with F-Zero, but maybe we can just talk about the music in both of these games together. I love the music in Super Mario Kart.
Sound font is so iconic.
It has this very particular quality to it, and I cannot describe it in any other way other than it's very Mario.
Yeah, it very much is, yeah.
Like there's just no other way to talk about it. It just sounds like Mario.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it really makes you feel like you sound like Mario.
Like it has the whistle thing and the orchestra hit and like the way the piano sounds.
It's just something about this 16-bit system and the way that they made music out of it. It just... Some of the best music for video games came out of this system.
Yeah, like the composition just had to be really on point for music to have a lasting effect. And Super Mario Kart did it really, really well. A lot of the music in here is still being used in Mario Kart games to this day.
Same thing for F-Zero.
Well, did we decide that there were like
There's 2 or 3.
3 tracks that we could like...
That were decent.
Because there's
Mute City.
Mute City and Big Blue. And then there was a third one that I was like, oh yeah, this one's cool, but I don't recognize it from other games. But yeah, unfortunately, like a couple of the tracks in F-Zero were not great.
No.
Which is kind of sad because...
F-Zero X, every track is fire.
I love it. I've listened to so many different covers of it because they're all just banging. Like, love the F-Zero soundtrack. Can't say I've done that with Super Mario Kart.
No, I think it's just different kind of listening.
Yeah.
You can listen to that F-Zero soundtrack and just rock out and whatever, but this is more like video gamey and stylized.
Right.
Kind of cartoony sounding.
Yeah, a little bit.
No! 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 I was almost there!
Adding items into a racing game like this, I think just like, it's a comeback mechanic for a lot of racers, or it's a detriment, like it was for us today, because it was like, where do I use this mushroom? There's no straightaways. And so you'd fly off the edge or whatever. But I do think the addition of items really added to the complexity. And if you play newer Mario Kart games, I've watched YouTube videos of these guys. They'll let people get a whole lap on them and then just chain items together and win. It's stupid.
Why is Mario Kart so damn sweaty?
I don't know, man. But there's people that have figured out, like, hey, I can just get this bullet bill here, and then I'll get this item and use the lightning here, and then get a star here. Like, they'll just chain items back to back to back and then just fly to first by the end of the race. It's ridiculous.
Cool.
But that's just like items. If you don't have items in that, that's not possible. But that's what makes Mario Kart Mario Kart. Is the items.
There aren't very many items in this Mario Kart.
No, you have greens, you have reds, you have the banana peel, you have lightning, you have mushroom, and star. Those are the generic ones. And then each character, I think, has their own specific one.
Yeah, and they end up functioning exactly
essentially
the same as banana peels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, just obstacles that they drop. They never stop throwing them, though.
No, and they don't even have to run over the item boxes to get items.
Well, they don't use them.
And they can just ignore your items. They'll just jump over them.
Yeah.
What? Did she just absorb that banana peel?
Looks like it.
I do feel like there was a sense of like the computers being a little bit unfair to race against because of the item thing.
Well, and I watched a video of a guy recently, and he complained about the same thing, that the CPUs are like, they're just like, ha-ha!
Yeah.
Like,
it's like Mario and Luigi, and it's just like, I can turn on a star whenever. What are you going to do about it?
That's cute.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Watching like Bowser just jumping over shit, just big old fat Bowser just go, nope.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm like, come on.
Something that was introduced into this game too was like the rival.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically a rival system. So like, depending on who you play, the opposite is going to be the person that's always catching up to you and rubber banding up to you. So if you play Peach, your rival is Bowser. If you play Toad, your rival is Peach. If you play Mario, your rival is DK, because this was before, like, this was like at the time where DK was still like thought of as like the main antagonist for Mario.
Yeah.
Because of Donkey Kong tossing barrels at him. Well, and he actually has that OG design as well in this game.
True. This is post Super Mario World, though.
I know, but I'm just...
Bowser had been the main villain of at least 3 games up to that point.
Yeah, but DK had just as many, didn't he not? Did he not?
Well, this was his first appearance on the SNES too, right?
Oh, I don't know.
It might be. I'll put it in.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Oh, the bank! I was hoping to hit Luigi. I was aiming for the other one.
Uniracers, or as it's more well known, Unirally.
Is it more well known?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Uniracers is way cooler.
Yeah. Well, even in the manual, they call them Uniracers, even though the game is called Unirally.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Uniracer sounds cooler as a title anyway, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, I just couldn't wipe the smile off my face.
Oh, I'm back here! Oh, you got a big boost there. Get back here, you bastard! There it is. Yeah! Dude, that is such a rush, man. I'm having such a good time.
Dude, we were having a legitimately good time with this game, and it's so
I'd keep playing it
because like these 2 games are like core Nintendo games. These were developed in-house by Nintendo. They are the ones that everybody knows and everybody loves. And Uniracers is a cousin game.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Hardcore.
In defense of the other 2 games, though, this came out in 90?
Yeah,
92, 94.
Yes.
So it's a much newer game, but having a 2D racing game as opposed to a 3D racing game, you wouldn't think that it would have as much depth and complexity as these 2. But it definitely does.
Yeah, surprising. Like, going back to it, I remembered a lot about playing it.
Me too.
We played a lot of that.
Played the hell out of it.
Like, I bet my 10-year-old self could kick my ass.
Oh, 100%, same, yeah.
But, yeah, like, there's the... I don't know, let's start with just, like, the design of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, your racer is
a like a what is it? An inanimate object that has a consciousness.
It's an anthropomorphized unicycle
that has personality.
Yeah. Oh, and the funny thing is that they didn't make them like cartoony, goofy unicycles. No. They're just unicycles. Like the most straight up unicycles you've ever seen. But the way that they're animated and the way that they move, they have so much personality.
You see him dance? Like, how did they inject so much personality into a fucking unicycles?
They do. Like, they look at the camera. If you're going on a straightaway, they'll look over and be like, yeah, this is awesome, huh?
Yeah.
Or, music kicks a lot of ass, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're just so incredibly expressive. And
they don't even have eyes or nothing. Like, it's the funniest thing that they have so much, sass or,
Yeah, totally.
just attitude. These one, like this one, the racers, like, make expressions and stuff like that. But I feel like the unicycles were even more expressive than the Mario Kart sprites.
Right? Well, it's because you can see their face where you really can't see the Mario Kart. You're just looking at the back of their head. Yeah, it's so funny. Well, and the other thing I was going to mention is British game has a very, very rare sense of humor about
Definitely
it.
does.
Like, even though there's no dialogue in the game, the manual is
hilarious.
Kind of just bizarre and
it's hilarious.
Funny.
There's like a god in the world of Uniracers.
Yeah. Who got bored, and so he decided to make a race of Uniracers to race around for his pleasure, which is actually the same thing that happens at F-Zero, funnily enough.
Yeah.
All the powerful people got together and built floating racetracks in the sky and made people race to the death on them for their own entertainment.
It's a tough course. You gotta have really good reactions on it. Look, he fell over. No.
Tuckered him out. Oh, but I was gonna say, like, it has the kind of sensibility and humor of Rareware, and it has a similar animation style to the Donkey Kong games, where they took 3D models and then made 2D sprites of the 3D models. And so they actually end up looking really good.
Yeah. The only thing visually that I didn't like about this game were the backgrounds. They were very samey. But as far as like the tracks go, like all the colors had meaning, but that just added to the vibrance of it. And also you could choose the color of your racer. It didn't change anything about your speeds or anything like that. It's just, what's your favorite color? Not much customization there, but still.
Yeah.
A nice little feature.
The game is centered around the tracks. I think that it really lives and dies by the quality of the tracks. And they're really fun. It's surprising how much variety they were able to squeeze out of a
2D game.
A 2D racing game about unicycles.
Yeah, it just blows your mind. And the reason it wasn't as popular as the other two, and kind of going back to the intro, is that stupid lawsuit that really derailed this game.
Yeah.
And really hindered it, because they sold their initial 300,000 copies of it, and then because of that lawsuit, they weren't able to make any more cartridges of it until the lawsuit was all done with.
Well, and they were sued successfully, right?
Yes, they were.
Why?
Stupid.
I've seen very few times where these kinds of lawsuits ended up doing anything good for anybody.
No, everybody loses. Yep.
Like, what's the point?
It's like there's these tiny studio. What do you think they're going to do to you, Pixar? It was Pixar that they pissed off.
They were Disney even before Disney bought them.
Yeah. So screw those people, because they ruined a lot of people not being able to get to experience Uniracers. Because it's heavily underrated and not talked about near enough. The music, oh my gosh, I love the music.
The music bangs so hard.
It really does. It's got this just punky feel to it, and it's fast, and it just is like, it gets you so pumped to play. And when you're coming up behind the computer or behind your friend, you're just like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah. You know?
You literally had the imprint
I did.
of the D-pad on your thumb.
I was,
you were just
if I push it harder, I'll go faster.
doing the steering
thing, dude, like, and the way that you get speed boosts in this game, we talked about this while we were playing, is you do tricks in the air, and that'll give you, and depending on how crazy your trick is, the more speed you get. Super cool.
See a nerd. Get 3 on that stretch. Dude, the bass lines in this game are so good. Just the music in general is so great. 1, 2, 3. Oh, not quite.
Well, and you were saying that that's a mechanic in the Aero GPX game, yeah?
Yeah, it looked like it is, and Mario Kart has borrowed that since, I think Mario Kart's Wii started doing that, right? Or was it Mario Kart 7 that started doing that? I know it's not in Double Dash.
I lose track after Double Dash because there's a big gap of those.
Yeah, because I didn't play 7 or the Wii one. I hated the one on the Wii.
Yeah?
Tilt controls pissed me off. I hated that. Give me a controller. Gosh, gee, dang it. I think that's a mechanic that's original to them. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If you know another game, like, tell me that they weren't the first people.
Give you a speed boost, yeah. But I mean, we don't know every game.
No, but
that's the earliest
94?
one I'm aware of. Yeah, that's.
I defy you to find a game that has tricks giving you speed boosts before this one.
Yeah.
And even the trick attack modes were really fun.
Yeah, surprisingly,
they were just
a
really
lot to it.
And then it was actually kind of a nice break from the race that you got.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, cool, I can just dick around and do some tricks here and get some points.
Yeah. Well, and they made it so that they encourage you to do a bunch of different stuff, so it's not just like, oh, I need to get 100 points of flips.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, you actually get rewarded for
comboing
mixing and comboing other things. I think that in another world, like Uniracers 2 could have been like an almost Tony Hawk sort of
I
game.
wouldn't have wanted it to be 3D, though.
Oh,
I think the 2D aspect of it is what makes it so great.
Would have been a great handheld then.
It would have been. It would have been awesome as a handheld game.
Imagine this as a sequel on
a DS or a 3DS
or a GBA or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the 2D aspect of it is what gives it so much charm.
Yeah.
I don't really think it would have benefited to going to 3D. I really don't.
Yeah, you got to try that boost thing out.
So you hold that Y?
Hold Y and then let it go right as it starts.
Got it.
Basically, it revs up your wheels.
Your wheel. There could be only one!
Like, being behind it just kind of takes away the... I don't know, I just think seeing it from the side and doing it that way, it just makes sense to me.
Well, I'm imagining something like... and I know neither of us have ever played it, but I've seen gameplay of like Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
So you're on those like really narrow tracks. Like imagine a game that goes this fast
on really narrow
like,
track. Yeah.
Like,
and that's another thing. This game felt so much faster than either of these two. This one by a mile. This one also by a mile. Like, and the CPUs are no joke.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult once you start getting into
But they're
the
not
silver.
cheaply
Yeah.
beating you,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in sometimes in Mario Kart where they just
do
dumb
bullshit,
shit.
Yeah. No, I remember as a kid, I very clearly remember this one day. We had a TV.
Were we borrowing it?
We must have been borrowing it because I don't think we ever owned it as kids. But
it's a cousin
because from our cousins, we literally did. We had a TV set up in Madeline and Sadie's room. And it was a school day, and I don't know if I had like stayed home because I was sick or something, or maybe it was a snow day or something. I don't know. For whatever reason, I didn't.
Snow
go to
days back in
school.
that time were the best.
Oh my gosh, I long for a snow day, even though I don't have any reason. But anyway, I remember like sitting at home playing this game, and I was working on all of the gold medals on all of the courses because that's where I was at with it. And when you're at that point, you're basically having to do every course perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do every trick perfect. You have to like use all
boost
the different
pads.
mechanics and like there's different
Shortcuts.
paths and shortcuts through some of the races. Like there's quite a lot to getting to the level where you can beat the gold Uniracer. And that's what I was doing as a kid. I remember very clearly that one day that's what I was working on. And I can't imagine even getting to that point now because we couldn't hardly beat the silver racer on the very.
We did end up beating that first cup.
Yeah, that
against
first
him.
cup, and that was it. Before we were like, okay,
we've peaked.
that's a good
too
place
hard.
to stop because it is legitimately difficult.
This is the final lap. Oh, I screwed it up, but it's okay. No. Yeah! Oh, one more. I have it.
Really fun game.
Yeah, I
really
enjoyed the heck out of
underappreciated.
it. Yeah, needs to be talked about more because, like I said while we were
I'm doing
playing,
my part.
I want a remaster or something of it, or like just like a spiritual successor of it of some kind. I'd play it, and you'd all play it, right?
For God's sake, give the man an updated Uniracers game.
I promise I'll take care of the unicycle. I won't let it rest out in the rain.
I think it's pretty clear who the winner is.
I mean, it's actually no contest. Like
no contest.
Like by sheer speed alone, Uniracers takes the gold.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds insane to you, probably at home watching this, but like, if you are going to go back and play a game without these on and actually just try and enjoy a game for fun, Uniracers holds up. It is
really
still
does.
so fun and so fast and so challenging and not frustrating.
And it's fun to grind and fun to like master the tracks.
Right.
I was like, because like when we were playing on that last track right before we ended, I was like, okay, one more. Okay, one more. I'll get it this time. And one more.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of attitude I had playing it, and I just didn't want to stop playing it. The first time one of the dark horse picks has won one of these Cartridge Royales, and I think it had kind of an unfair advantage because these two games have just aged like milk. And that's very widely well known that they've aged not well.
Yeah, I don't think what we're saying here is unpopular or out of line
Hot
or
take
anything.
or anything.
Yeah, it's not a hot take, but like some games hold up and others don't. And fuck, Uniracers totally holds up.
It does. It's awesome. And I think if you haven't played it before and you went to go play it, it would just be like a really good indie game nowadays. Yeah.
That's what a lot of the games from this era feel like, are just really quality indie games.
Mm-hmm. And the indie games ecosystem is going to get a lot crazier if game prices keep getting crazier.
That's true.
So
that's true. I mean, we're already going up to $90 for Nintendo games. Like
yeah.
the
Can you
rumor-
imagine what PlayStation's going to charge for theirs?
Well, I
I
was
think they're going to
thinking-
be the worst offenders.
I guarantee you that we're going to see a $100 Grand Theft Auto.
100%.
And that's not like the pre-order deluxe edition.
No, that's the base game.
The base game is going to be $100, and I'm not going to buy it.
I'm not going to buy it either. I've never been a big Grand Theft Auto guy anyway.
Me either.
But I just like driving around.
Yeah, I played 5 and I just could not get into it.
But
I probably, and I got pretty far into that game. I think I played like 20, 30 hours of that game, and I was just like,
yeah, it doesn't apply to this one.
Yep, that game is just legit. I mean, maybe
good.
it does. Maybe we're wearing nostalgia glasses.
I really don't think so, because we played all three of them back to back to back, and this one was the most fun.
True.
Objectively most fun.
All Uniracers needs now is items.
Dude, can you imagine like a freaking how would you, like a wrench or something? Or
You put down
you throw
like
nails.
Yeah, nails back behind you, and then they pop, and they have to like pump up their own tire again or something. Yeah.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah,
I think we've got it covered.
Uniracers.
A little bit shorter of an.
Go play Uniracers. It's
Go
really
play
good.
Uniracers.